rental properties and eviction. We're going to talk about it today, the ins and outs and the ups and the downs. Stay tuned. Straight from the garage, Cleo talks. Anyway. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm feeling pumped for the day. Up early, washing sheets. Actually, we had a bedwetting last night, so that's fun.
Was it you or your husband? You or your husband?
No, not us. Thankfully, this time. No, my 2-year-old daughter. But I swear, I put it. You put them to the toilet before they go to bed, and you think that's enough. It's like, how much can you hold? Anyway,
unbelievable, cute little chickens. Cleo, big topic this morning, and
yes.
is eviction happening more than ever, or it's sort of just there's just like that we know with every 500 clients there's going to be one. How does that work?
I think even though the market is so volatile as far as a shortage in the rental market, we're finding a lot of owners are giving notice to their tenants to vacate, whether it be the rent increase too high for a current existing tenancy and they want to re-let with a vacant possession property, or that they've sold their property and they're selling at vacant possession also. So we are seeing quite a lot of those requests coming from our landlords, and the notice period is either a 90-day or 30-day. What we're not seeing is a lot of 14 days non-payment of rent terminations, which is good. Tenants, are maintaining their commitment of rent, which is great. It's just unfortunate that if the circumstances change for the landlord, then we do have to give the tenant notice.
Okay. So when that notice comes, that goes by way of writing, so you can send that in an email or a letter, or you have to do it on both, or how do you do that these days?
Well, everything's electronic now. It depends on the lease start date. Pre-2019, I think you still have to print it, post it, hand deliver it, allow postage days if you're going to put it through general post, or if you're going to just hand deliver it to the letterbox, you can do that with the following day. But electronic notices now, email is the way to go. Everyone signs a consent form when they sign their new lease to say that they accept electronic communication from the office. So it makes things easier for sure.
And with when it comes to tenants getting an eviction notice, like it must be an awful thing to get in the post. It must be like, fuck, here we go, we're on the merry-go-round again. Do you call them before? Do they call you straight away, or how does that sort of work?
Yes, I do. I like to call my tenants first and give them the heads up. We like to also mention that, especially the good tenants that we've had for such a long time at the office, we tend to try and move them into something else that we might have and start communicating with our rental list and stock and letting them know about open home times. And there's nothing better than transitioning a good tenant, from your portfolio to another property, and it makes things easier. You've already got that rapport, that relationship. They're already on an automatic rent system. You're just simply moving them to another property. The issue at the moment is there's not a lot of property. So trying to find another property for the tenant, even within the office, has been more difficult than in previous years. So, yeah.
So what happens when a tenant goes, I just can't find it? Because they never go, no, I'm not going. They always, I guess the typical thing is, look, we just can't find anywhere to go.
Yeah, look, I think in the past, tenants used to wait to the last minute, and that would be fine. You know, you've been given a 30 or a 90-day notice, and you go, I'm just going to find something in the last 2 weeks of my tenancy, you know, and you were able to do that because there was a lot more rental stock. Now, if you've been given a 30-day notice, you need to be already putting your applications out there. You need to be going to every open home on a Saturday and a Wednesday. I haven't found any tenants, like you said, that go, nah, I'm not moving out. But I've had one just recently which sparked my topic, where the owner has sold the property, vacant possession, and they haven't found anything yet. And the 10th of June is creeping up. And they've asked for a month extension. And, you know, respectfully, I understand. And their rent's really low, so that's also a factor. They're paying, you know, a very affordable rent at the moment. So I believe they're looking for something in that price point that they've used to be paying, but they're not finding anything. And I've had to call the owner and say, look, you have to have a plan B, because the tenants haven't found anything yet. They're looking, they know they have to move by the 10th of June, but they've emailed us asking for an extension. So that's not a good sign.
Off topic, are people sticking to the beaches, or they're leaving because it's expensive?
Both. I think they're leaving because it is expensive. I've had tenants that have been fighting on, you know, the rent increases being so high. And I do empathise and understand some owners are increasing their rent a lot, like by $150 a week. That's huge. Where are you going to pull an extra $150 from? I get it. But if you look at other areas like the inner west, or, you know, if you go onto realestate.com and compare rents, you know, you can get a 2-bedroom apartment for $600 a week, you know, in a modern complex with parking and dishwasher, but you won't find that here on the beaches. So I think people are weighing up their lifestyles and whether or not staying, you know, close to mum and dad or the beach is really that important for them.
So what are the tricks up your sleeve for assisting a tenant to move?
Look, there are no tricks as far as, you know, you can't say, oh, well, go to open homes and offer more money, because there is no more money. Tenants don't have all that extra surplus of $20, $30, $40 to offer to be competitive in their application. My number one tip is just get in there, be fast, apply for everything. If you're transitioning to a property because you can't find something that suits everything, take a shorter lease. Get a 6-month lease until you find something better. I get it's not ideal with removal costs and everything else, but if it means, you know, staying where you want to work and where you want to live, then you do have to make some of these sacrifices. Same with an owner as well. Like, I just want to point out that this climate is so unusual that the stock is so low. Empathizing with the tenant, trying to find something with the cost of living as well. You have to have a plan B in place if your tenant's not going to move. Can you make a settlement longer if you know, negotiating that in the beginning, because the tenants that have been there maybe 10 years or 8 years. So you've got to think of certain things, like if they haven't particularly moved on that exact day. Some owners think, oh, well, settlement, here's your keys, tenant's out, exact day you move in. It doesn't always ideally happen that way.
Beautiful.
We had a property.
And
yeah.
And it's gotten very serious where even it's forcing people to live in their garage with old Greek furniture.
This is where I escaped to. Yeah, if you really want to see, you got to check out this bad boy. Look at this. This is a gramophone with a Grecian key that plays records.
Oh my God.
I know.
This is your garage?
Yeah, this is in my garage. I have all
Have you named it?
No, not yet. I don't know if it's going to be my pad or my husband's pad for when you want to get away from the kids.
It's got to be named something Greek and Woggy.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the Guffy Neal, something like that. You know, for sure.
Oh my God! So Claire, thank you very much. I think, look, the whole eviction thing, it's certainly out there at the moment. lots of communication is probably the best medicine. Pick up the phone, have a good old conversation. Don't bury your head as a landlord or an agent as a tenant. Just have plenty of communication. Hey.
Yeah, that's the best, I think, for sure. And you'll find something eventually. You know, it's bound
In
to be.
practice, everyone is. Just on that, if they don't move out, do you apply to a sheriff or a tribunal, or what do you do?
Yeah, you apply to NCAT. The likelihood that you'll get a hearing straight away is probably about a week or two. So if you're only negotiating an extra week with your owner and you're thinking about applying at NCAT to get an enforced vacate date, you're getting that 2 weeks anyway. So if you're able to negotiate with your tenant, that's great. The NCAT process is longer. You will get a vacate date, but it probably won't be within the 2 to 3 week period anyway.
Listen to this lady; she knows her stuff.
But yeah, like the NCAT, you don't want to go down that road. If you can negotiate with the tenant, it's so much easier. If you can be a little bit flexible. I'm not saying that the termination notice doesn't mean anything. It does. There is a date of finality, but if that's not reached, negotiating is the best option.
Thank you very, very much, Cleo.
No problem. I'm going to have my Greek coffee now.
Go have your Greek coffee and your Greek couch and your Greek garage. Faristo. Bye, everyone.